storytelling has become a new technology of control within management techniques. And actually, his book, which is relatively slender and is based on experience, he's French, obviously. It's French theory. He's French. He's basing his experience on internships he did in Washington as a journalist for Le Monde. What he argues is that storytelling is increasingly mobilized in place of traditional methods of control. So managers use it, politics use it, branding is using it. So you don't buy a brand anymore because Nike is the best trainer. You buy a brand because the story of Nike is great and you really like it. You buy your mobile phone not because one mobile phone is better than another, but because the adverts show people skipping around being really jolly and happy. The story is there. If I see another of those aspirational lifestyle commercials, I'm going to hang myself. Which means I can't watch the TV. So there's a huge issue about storytelling as a technique of control, and the more that it gets used, the more suspicious people will be of it. And what is happening, someone argues, is that management and authority are beginning to colonize the chatter and noise that goes on in organizations to their own benefit. So it's not a completely value-free activity, storytelling, and it needs to be dealt with a certain level of skepticism, although it does have benefits, as I'm going to try and realize now, quickly, around the time. Finish up straight. Right, instant qualitative stuff, which came out of just talking to both staff on this side and service users on this side, was overall a great sense of positivity. A fantastic day. What was valuable, powerful, and significantly eye-opening. I guess if you're talking about reflective practice, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to open people's eyes, very often to the routine in which they're engaged. I used to talk to physiotherapists when I worked for their professional body about what reflective practice was, and they would always get locked into, as we always see with healthcare professionals, things that had gone wrong. Don't you want me to beat myself up about this? I would very often say, actually, no, I quite like to look at things that went well as well, because that's where your practice will enhance, where you'll teach other people about good practice. And significantly for me in healthcare, it's really worth reflecting on the routine of the day-to-day. If you don't reflect on that, all sorts of practices which you would not ordinarily countenance can slip through, and patients are not getting the level of service they deserve. It's not bad practice, it's not a significant untoward incident, but it's routinized practice, which is a real problem, I think. So it's eye-opening. From the patient's perspective, equally positive. One used the word cathartic, so I've pulled it out here. Others express that in different ways, that, you know, they felt like a weight off their chest, they have stuff to talk about in terms of the problems they faced in terms of their care. And one, and I don't like promoting this, but one service user was on the cusp of making a formal complaint about the care she had received, and felt that having been involved in this event, it wasn't necessary now. So that was a positive outcome, because she knew that actually she'd fed back to the organisation what the issues were. She didn't need to type it out and send it in to somebody who would send her a letter within X number of days. So they felt that it had been cathartic in that sense, and extremely useful. So both sides are very positive. What we were looking for, of course, is to try and encourage people to think differently and to do things differently. So not just go to the school, but do things differently and think differently about it. The reactionaires that Roleplay UK did they suggested, and these were really crass, I mean, I'm not saying these have got any statistical validity. They used a standard Likert scale to just say, you know, did you strongly agree with this, neither one way or the other, disagree or strongly disagree. But one of the statements was, I feel better equipped, or I feel that I understand better my responsibility for providing a good quality patient experience. 60% strongly agreed and 40% agreed. Now that seems very positive. But the other side of that was, do you now feel better able to do that? Only 45% strongly agreed. So there's some sort of disparity about recognising your responsibility and not quite knowing what that meant in practice. So then the director has done some work on that, so to try and drill down and see what the issues are around that. This is a really crude measure, and actually it doesn't hold any longer. But they were having complaints at this kind of level. So in June, when we ran the event, there was 3, dropped to 1 in July, dropped to 1 in August, there was 3 in September. They suggest that might be the influx of new doctors. where service users were clearly happier, and where patients and staff, the staff felt a lot happier, and not this kind of discovery trip between those two groups. I'm not clear how successful we've been now, to be completely candid. So, you could argue, and from an LLD perspective I probably would, that the initial peak that we had in terms of people going back and doing things differently, the massive buzz around this, the notion of coming up with ideas that kind of stretched across maybe 6 months, could just be a Hawthorne effect. It could just be a Hawthorne effect, which is a bit depressing, because actually it means I have no professional ability whatsoever. Unless you count every LLD intervention as mean that you have to have a Hawthorne effect. And they did try and build work from this. You know, they took the action plan that had been produced by the staff, they did try and put things into place, they started to publicise the positive as well as the negative. So the director had been ground down quite a bit by the level of complaint. So they started to talk about letters that come in that were very positive about this, and started to talk about little things like putting up a board that carried all the letters of compliment, a board that actually identified staff that worked extremely well. So it was quite incentivised. So we were getting there, but we're in another pickle again. So a year later, I suspect either we run through this again, or we think again about how we do it. So an initial good effect, people felt very positive about it, but longer term, we've still got to crack the nut of, and I suspect this is a theme for the whole conference, how do you bridge what happens in terms of looking at interventions, even when they're closely related to practice, and actual practice when it's contextualised in healthcare? And that's the $63 million question in lots of ways, because I don't know, you get that quick peak, people go back into service, they might carry some of that learning with them briefly, and then it'll fall away. And that seems to be a major issue for all complex organisations, but for health in particular. And it shouldn't be an issue in health, because 80% of our workforce are professionally trained people. So what the hell's going on there? Okay, a couple of pictures, wind up. A couple of pictures, this one, service users, they meet two there, I think, staring at each other, having a chat, facilitating register. These are staff who then were looking at responses from the clients and beginning to get ready to make a discussion about what they wanted to do differently. And that's it. I should be leaving South London Healthcare shortly, so if you need to contact me, you better use my private practice address, which is there. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. I guess move straight on. I've got a feeling if you start talking, you'll never stop, will you?